Strange New World's wedding just combined two classic Star Trek episodes. Star Trek Strange New Worlds has never been shy about blending genres or honoring its vast legacy, but Season 3's wedding episode might be its most delightful fusion yet. The show didn't just stage a heartfelt union between two fan-favorite characters. It cleverly combined the spirit and structure of two classic Star Trek episodes from very different eras. It's the kind of bold narrative choice that proves Strange New Worlds is still the franchise's most confident and creative modern series. One that can take something as familiar as a wedding and turn it into a celebration of everything Star Trek stands for. A Starfleet wedding worth waiting for. By the time the episode aired, Strange New Worlds fans were already abuzz with speculation. The wedding between Lieutenant Erica Ortegas and Dr. Joseph Mbenga, teased subtly through previous episodes, was always going to be a big deal. But what nobody expected was that the ceremony would take place aboard the Enterprise itself, in a story that started as a romantic celebration and quickly evolved into a philosophical, high-stakes mission that pulled from two of Star Trek's most beloved classics. At first, the episode opens in full celebration mode, reminiscent of Balance of Terror, the original series, Season 1, the episode that first introduced a wedding on the Enterprise. Fans will remember that episode's tragic opening, where Captain Kirk prepared to officiate the wedding of two officers, only for the ceremony to be cut short by a Romulan attack that cost one of their lives. That juxtaposition of love and loss has lingered in Star Trek history ever since. Strange New Worlds revisits that emotional setup, but this time, the wedding isn't interrupted by violence, it's interrupted by something stranger. The ship finds itself trapped between overlapping dimensions, and suddenly, the bonds between people, emotional, physical, and even quantum, start to shift in unexpected ways. What follows is an episode that's as visually inventive as it is emotionally resonant. But beneath all the spectacle, its structure and themes clearly echo not just Balance of Terror, but another legendary Star Trek story, The Next Generation's Data's Day. Echoes of Balance of Terror. Balance of Terror remains one of the original series' most important episodes. It's a tense cat-and-mouse thriller about prejudice, warfare, and empathy, as Kirk faces off against a Romulan commander in a submarine-style standoff. But its first and final scenes, both centered on a doomed wedding, give the episode a tragic symmetry. Love and loss coexist aboard the Enterprise. Joy is constantly shadowed by the dangers of exploration. In Strange New Worlds' wedding episode, that same tension hums beneath every scene. The ceremony itself is joyous and full of life, featuring speeches from Captain Pike, musical contributions from Uhura, and a heartwarming toast from Spock that blends Vulcan stoicism with just enough awkward sincerity to steal the scene. But as the Enterprise becomes ensnared in the dimensional rift, the episode explores what happens when emotional bonds themselves become unstable. In one sequence, Ortegas and Mbenga find themselves phasing through one another, a literalization of two becoming one, that turns into a metaphor for marriage itself. It's both deeply romantic and unnerving, and the show's cinematography mirrors Balance of Terror's chiaroscuro lighting and claustrophobic tension. Just as Balance of Terror used the wedding to underscore the fragility of life in space, Strange New Worlds uses it to highlight the power of human connection in the face of cosmic uncertainty. The danger here isn't war, but the loss of individuality, of being dissolved into the unknown. And much like Kirk and the Romulan commander's mutual respect in Balance of Terror, the episode's resolution comes not through violence, but understanding. The dimensional instability turns out to be a side effect of the wedding's energy fields, the combined psychic resonance of so many people connected in joy and love. It's a perfect Strange New Worlds twist. Science meets sentiment, the Data's Day connection. If Balance of Terror gave the episode its emotional foundation, The Next Generation's Data's Day provided its heart. That episode, told from Data's perspective, follows a single day aboard the Enterprise D, one that includes preparations for the wedding of Keiko Ishikawa and Miles O'Brien. It's a charming slice of life story that explores how life in Starfleet continues amid the vastness of space. Strange New Worlds' wedding episode mirrors that tone beautifully. Before the dimensional chaos begins, we get an extended first act filled with character moments that feel straight out of Data's Day. Uhura practices a Vulcan wedding chant. Pike frets over his officiating duties. Spock tries to understand the human concept of cold feet, with predictably analytical results. There's even a B-plot involving Number 1 Una Chin Riley navigating a diplomatic gift exchange gone wrong. a comedic detour that humanizes Starfleet's command hierarchy. Like Data's Day, these scenes show us the crew not as heroes or soldiers, but as people living together. It's a reminder that Star Trek's idealism isn't just about exploring new worlds. It's about creating communities that function, love, and laugh in the face of the unknown. Even when the crisis begins, the episode maintains that warmth. The chaos doesn't erase the humor, instead, it deepens it. Ortegas and M'Benga's relationship becomes the emotional anchor, but it's the ensemble moments, the teamwork, the small gestures of care that make the story feel universal. Love, logic, and legacy. What makes the episode truly shine is how it uses this dual homage to say something new. Balance of Terror and Data's Day represent two ends of the Star Trek spectrum, tragedy and slice of life, war and domesticity, the cost of command and the beauty of companionship. Strange New Worlds combines them to argue that both are essential to Starfleet's identity. The series has always been at its best when it walks the line between adventure and intimacy, between epic and earnest. Here, the wedding becomes a microcosm for Star Trek itself, a commitment to understanding, to uniting difference, to facing the void together. The writing team leans into that metaphor without ever feeling heavy-handed. When Spock delivers his wedding speech, a moment that could have easily slipped into parody, he quotes Sirac's teachings about infinite diversity and infinite combinations, linking Vulcan philosophy directly to the theme of emotional resonance. Meanwhile, Pike's toast connects the mission of the Enterprise to the act of love itself. Out there among the stars, we find the unknown. Down here among each other, we find the same thing, and it's just as worth exploring. It's pure Star Trek poetry, the kind that fans of every generation can recognize. A masterclass in emotional pacing. One of Strange New Worlds' greatest strengths has been its ability to balance tone, to jump from slapstick to sincerity without losing emotional cohesion. This episode might be its best example yet. The first act feels like a romantic comedy, the second like a sci-fi thriller, and the third like a metaphysical love story. Yet somehow, it all flows naturally. That tonal balance is precisely what connects it to Star Trek's legacy. Episodes like Balance of Terror and Data's Day might seem wildly different on paper, but both are structured around human emotion. The former is about fear and empathy, the latter about curiosity and connection. By merging them, Strange New Worlds shows that Star Trek's emotional spectrum isn't limited, it's infinite. And when the episode finally returns to the wedding, after the crisis is resolved and reality has stabilized, it does so with renewed meaning. The crew's applause feels earned. The moment lands not because of the spectacle, but because the show has reminded us why these characters matter to each other and to us. Why it works so well. The genius of the episode isn't just in its references, but in how naturally they're woven into the story. It doesn't feel like a gimmick or a forced nostalgia play. Instead, the homage deepens the emotion. That's something Strange New Worlds has mastered across its run. Whether it's riffing on the original series' pulp roots, the next generation's philosophical tone, or Deep Space Nine's emotional depth,